I grew up spending every spare moment I had wanting to act, to play pretend, and to escape into different worlds and different characters because sometimes their lives seemed more exciting or safer or better in some way, better than my own. I always thought of it as a hobby, never a real job, and never something that I could actually make money doing. It wasn't until I took this class called Acting as a Business that I realized acting can be so much more than a hobby. I learned about the power of unions. I'm Kerry Washington, and I am an actor.
This episode of I Am an Actor is presented by Amazon Studios.
Yeah,
Kerry Washington,
great
thank
job.
you so
Nailed it.
much.
Thanks for
Hi.
being here.
Thanks for having me. This is such a cool thing that you're doing, bringing
it's
people together.
cooler now that you're here.
Yeah.
Okay, if you say so. I don't think so, but
No, we're thrilled to have you. And your I Am an Actor is actually a great segue into the kind of first question that we always like to ask.
Okay.
Like, at what moment did you realize you wanted to be an actor?
There's a moment when I realized how exciting and powerful acting was for me. And that was a very different moment from the moment that I thought, I'm going to try to pursue this as an actual career. Those are two separate moments completely because I just thought that acting was an impossible dream because I associated success as an actor with being famous. I didn't know that you could be a working actor who belonged in a union and paid your bills and could live a life as an artist without necessarily being on the cover of magazines. And because I never thought I would be the girl who was on the cover of anybody's magazine, I thought, well, I can't want to be an actor. So it wasn't until I learned about the existence of actors' unions and working actors that
really?
I thought, I'm going to try to make a life making a living doing what I love to do.
Because in a way, did it feel like you had a bit of a safety net? Did it make you feel that way in a way?
Yeah, it made me feel like there was actually a community of actors who weren't maybe the names in the brightest lights at the top of the marquee, or their names maybe weren't on the poster, but they were still living life as working actors and as artists. And so I thought, well, if there's a community of people like that, I want to be part of that community. I want to try to make a life doing what I love to do.
And what a community. You grew up in New York. So, like, talk about, like, the city of, like, there's such a plethora of artists there.
Yeah.
So to be immersed in that kind of city
Yes.
while, during such an impressionable time of your life, it's, like, so much to, like, learn from.
I want to talk about, was it Tada?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
like I did youth theater.
You did.
And so it's like really, and it was so meaningful to me, and it informs me still to this day.
Where did you grow up?
What's happening? Who's asking the questions
I
here?
know.
Well, I want to know where
kidding.
was I'm like, let me take my shoes off.
Get comfortable.
What are we
Get
talking
comfortable. This
about?
is just going to be
Where
a
did you
back
grow
and
up?
forth.
What was the name of the children's
I
theater
grew up
company?
in Tallahassee, Florida, in the Florida Panhandle.
So was it like dinner theater?
It was not. No,
Oh.
it was like a youth theater. It was called Young Actors Theater.
Yeah, it was.
Tony Hill is an alum from there.
What was in the water?
We're very prolific there in Tallahassee. But it was a really great program, and like as a kind of like closeted gay kid in a small town, finding that community like you were talking about was like super key to me in my growth as a child. But this is not about me. This is about you.
Yeah.
So, but tell me about like how Tada impacted you as a kid.
So Tada is this incredible children's theater company in New York City. And I auditioned when I was in the 7th grade, I think. And I remember
Well, that's when I started, yeah.
being so nervous, like, if I would get in or not. And I did. And it was transformative for me because it was really where I learned a lot of work ethic as an actor, because you have to show up. And we were taught to take our notebooks out after every performance to take notes from the directors for things to work on for the next performance.
Wow.
And you had to be on time. And, I took the subway to go to rehearsals, and I would hang out with my friends afterward. I got into a lot of trouble with those friends. But it was really, it was the place that first taught me how to be a responsible, accountable artist, because people were relying on me in a different way than at school or in your kind of neighborhood artist group.
There was a discipline to
There
it
was
in a way.
discipline.
Mhm.
There was discipline and commitment and a sense of real teamwork. People relied on you. And also, like, I was not the star. So we had one summer where we did performances inspired by Ezra Jack Keats' books. He's an incredible children's book author. I played a wall.
Sorry.
There are no small parts.
No, just the way you said it was so funny.
I did.
How did you
I
play
played
this
a
wall? What was the intention of
I
the
was
wall?
brilliant.
Okay.
But we were dressed in these like grayish jumpsuits. And it was very kind of avant-garde.
I was just going to say,
That's
And we would like stand in a row to embody the wall, and then we would become other things. We would
that's
become
cool.
furniture or
Okay.
neighbors in the building or pets or
oh,
I think it
that's
was based
great.
on a
That's neat.
book called Apartment 3B or something like that. But it was one of those times in my life where I learned there are no small parts, that it's really about the team, that it's about being a part of something that's bigger than you to tell a story that moves people. And that it really does take a village. you
Very
know?
ensemble
Yes.
nature,
Can I just
too.
say, making out with you?
Yes, we have
Um,
that experience.
yes.
Do you know that?
On the show.
Do you know that
I
we
do
made
know.
out?
I do
Yeah.
not know
Okay,
that.
no,
I
it
did
was.
not know that
she,
you made
she
out.
invited me to be a guest on her beautiful show, Unprisoned.
Unprisoned.
And when I walked on a set, like
You
this,
gotta hear every
I
detail
know.
of this.
I know, we know the vibe. That was just a weird segue. Anyways, just my only bragging right. Okay. Being on your show and the way you just spoke about how it's an ensemble, something bigger than you. That's how you run your set. As a number one, as a producer, with everyone that you have on your team is so incredibly kind, so passionate, so invested.
And collaborative, right? We really believe
exactly.
in
It
partnership.
felt like if everyone was like literally moving to the same jive. Like it was such a great experience. Thank you.
Oh,
But
thank
you
you
definitely,
for sharing that.
Your actions also speak louder than no. When you know what I'm trying to say.
Actions speak louder than words.
No, yeah, exactly.
I
But
do-
also like you do what you preach. right?
Actions are important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, I think it does. I mean, it
You gotta
does stem from
walk
like
the
when
walk.
you play a wall,
Mm-hmm.
right? When it's that thing of coming from doing the hard work. Like I've been in the trenches, and I've had bigger roles and I've had smaller roles, and I've played even when I was in college. Like I went to college on an acting scholarship, so. One of the stipulations of my scholarship was that you had to audition for every single performance, whether you wanted to be in it or not, which also meant that sometimes I wound up in productions that I was like, I didn't ask for this.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like,
Yeah.
you
I'm not playing
learn-
this wall again.
I mean, here we are. And sometimes also you discover that it can, like my dad to this day, hand to God, he will tell you the most magical thing I've ever done as an actor was playing, I'm saying all these crazy things I've done, playing a frog in college.
That's his favorite
A
role of
singing
yours?
frog.
Oh, cute.
A rainforest
Frog.
poison dart frog.
Cute.
Oh, wow.
In a sort of environmental musical piece that I did that was written by the head of our theater and dance department at GW. It was an incredible experience. I went to the Smithsonian Zoo to study frog
No way, that's
movement and
incredible. That's
behavior.
cool.
Did you really?
Of
That's
course
cool.
I
Of course you
did.
did.
And one of my best friends, Colleen Basis, was our dramaturg. And I mean, there's at the time you could have asked me anything about any frog anywhere in
And
the
I'll
world.
tell you. Yeah.
You
But
must have
my
been
dad
great
to
at
this day is
parties.
still like, that is my favorite thing you've ever done. Like, couldn't we do an animated movie? Like what? When Princess and the Frog came out, he was like, "This is your moment." Yeah.
You've done all this research.
Yeah, he was like, use it. So so you just never, that's one of those experiences. Like, I don't know that I would have auditioned for the Frog musical, but what an extraordinary opportunity to be gifted that opportunity, that possibility, that exploration.
And to make your dad so happy.
And to make my dad so proud. He'll never be that proud of me again. Ever.
That's so funny.
So everything is trying to measure up to that. It was called Croak, by the way.
Croak.
Oh,
I mean,
cute.
this is, now I'm obsessed with this.
Yeah.
How many years did you study at Michael Howard Studios after college?
So studying at Michael Howard was one of those really transformative moments for me because I went to a summer conservatory program halfway through college. And that was actually where I took this class, Acting as a Business. It was the first time in my life that I went into an environment, because I didn't go to a conservatory school for undergrad. I had a liberal arts degree. And so in this summer conservatory, I was doing acting from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. every single day, and rehearsals
Like it was a
afterward, and
job.
over the yes, and it Yeah, I couldn't get enough. I wanted more. I was like, it was clown class and audition class and acting for film and television and acting as a business and movement and voice. And I was like, more, please.
Yeah.
All the time. I want more. And I'm happy that I didn't go to a conservatory school for undergraduate. I do think that learning to be a better social scientist and liberal arts learner has really made me a better artist. But I loved that conservatory environment, just talking about acting and being an actor all day long. And so
Just
it was the turning point for me
immersion.
where I was like, I really do have to go for this. When college is over, I'm going to give myself a limited amount of time to really just go for it and
What was the
try.
limited amount of time?
It was a year.
That's
Oh,
it?
wow.
It was a year.
And you succeeded. Way to put the pressure
I
on.
did. I was like, I had my study guides for the LSATs and the GMATs by my bed. I wasn't sure if I was going to try to go to graduate school for psych or law school, but I put them by my bed because I was like, when this year is up, I'm going to have to jump into one of those books if I don't feel like I've done something significant. I wasn't like, I'm not going to win an Oscar in a year, but I have to feel like I've done something significant enough to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel the pressure of that year?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
That's a lot. As a young person, that's a lot of pressure to put on
It
yourself.
was. And I had, 17 jobs to try to hustle and survive in New York. At first I lived at home because it was amazing to grow up in New York City and be able to live at home. And then I was like, I couldn't expand into the person I wanted to be in that little room that I had grown up in my
Yeah.
whole life. So
Yeah.
I had to kind of move out. And
Well, and
be on
also
my own.
being fully immersed in that community that you were talking about.
Yeah,
I'm sure that
that's
was
right.
a big part of it too.
That's right. I had an
Yeah.
apartment in East Harlem with some girlfriends, and we had a couch that artists always slept on. If you slept on the couch, you just had to contribute to utilities. You didn't have to pay rent, but if you had a bedroom, you had to pay rent. And it was just like we used to do the artist's way in my living room with big groups of actors and artists, and it was incredible.
Oh, this is cool. It sounds like like the 60s and like the way
know,
you're
it
talking
just
about
was.
this.
It was. There was a lot of weed as well. It was yes,
it's
there was
just-
all of that.
Everything is cyclical. Everything
Yes,
is cyclical.
So true. But so I went back to Michael Howard after I graduated from college. After I graduated from college, I moved to India for a little while.
Oh, wow.
And then when
I
I
didn't
got
know
back
this.
from India,
Wait,
I
back
started
up.
studying
Wait,
again.
Back up. You went to India.
I did.
What was that experience like? What moved you to go to India?
Growing up in New York City, I did audition a bit in high school for stuff. And I actually got really close to some very big projects where I said to my agent at the time, like, if I get this, I'll stay and be an actor. And if I don't, I'm going to go to college. And then I didn't get it. So I went off to college, which in hindsight, thank God, because I needed to grow up and become a more mature person, I think, which I'm still working on. But
Aren't we all?
well,
right?
Thanks.
So this is good. I like this. So when I was in college, I was like, okay, when I graduate, I'm going to go for it. This was after the summer at Michael Howard. So I was like, okay, I know I'm going to go for it when I graduate. I'm going to give myself a year and I'm going to just do everything I can to be able to make a life for myself, which I knew was going to include things like trying to book commercials and doing work that maybe wasn't artful or creatively gratifying, but that was like pay the bills acting
Yeah.
work. And so I wanted
And
to
it's
give
all
myself
stepping stones,
yes,
too.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give myself an experience of living somewhere where acting was connected to something much deeper, like a deeper cultural, spiritual practice. And so I applied to a postgraduate program in Japan studying No theater and a program in India studying Kathakali theater. And at one point, my mom was like, you are allergic to sesame seeds and seafood, and you can't process soy. What are you going to eat in Japan?
Mhm.
Like, you can visit Japan, but living in
Mhm.
Japan seems untenable. And so I was like, India it is. And so I packed my bags. It was like 6 of us, I believe. It was like the real world India.
Yeah, I love
We
this.
lived in this house with
You
an
have a connection to
incredible
this.
professor. We learned the language in Kerala, which is Malayalam. And we studied
That's where you
with,
were.
yes, I was
Yeah.
in Kerala in South India. And we all studied traditional Indian art forms. Some of us were doing Bharatanatyam dance or Kathakali theater or learning the sitar. And then we would get together in the afternoon to study language and culture. And we had guest speakers come to the house. It was
This is
really special.
You are my
It was
guru.
it was
I
it
love
was
this.
magical. And then we also had to study something that was not performance based. So I studied yoga and got certified to teach yoga. And so that was one of my side hustles when I was auditioning was I taught yoga at Equinox and
I love
another
this.
ladies gym in the Bronx. And I tried to teach my mom yoga to pay my rent. And she was like, I
Nuh-uh.
can't do this. But I had private clients. So that was a big part of my
know this.
kind of
That's
how
so
I made a
cool.
life for myself.
Fascinating.
How long were you in India for?
So I lived in that house studying, I think it was about 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
And then I traveled around South India after that
So
for
neat.
several more
Were
months.
the other 5 or 6 people that you were living with, were they Americans? Were they from all
All
over
Americans.
the world?
Wow.
They were all Americans.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. It was a program through the University of Wisconsin, Madison.
Oh, wow. Really?
And yeah, it was really special.
Yeah, it sounds incredible.
Yeah.
And then your reentry back
Mm-hmm.
into the States.
Yeah.
Where did you go from there? Like from India to...
So that's when I tried to move back home.
You moved back.
And that was
Yeah.
insane. Like I had traveled to the other side
Yeah,
of
it
the
must have
world. I had all
felt-
this independence and had like,
Yeah.
you know, meditated under bodhisattva trees. Like I was, my world had become so big and I just knew I was at the beginning of a crazy adventure. And I just couldn't do that in like the same room that I came home from the hospital in. It just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So I had to move out, which was crazy because I could have saved so much money. But,
I know.
Sure.
But
yeah.
I just need, sometimes you need to take those risks.
Yeah.
And also it helped me like, you got to get a job. Like you
Mhm.
have to hustle. You can't just
Yeah.
sit back and like, eat bonbons because you're living with mom and dad. Like
Yeah.
you have to make
Sometimes
this
you
work.
have to make it harder for yourself.
Yeah.
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 But then also the independence and living in New York. It's like that's where you meet so many people and there's so many
Yes.
experiences. Like
Mhm.
one of the arts of being an actor is like you have to live your life.
That's you have
get
to
you
live
get
your
all the
life.
experiences
Yeah,
from
it
your life.
informs
Yes,
everything,
from
yeah.
meeting people and
Yeah.
watching people.
Yeah.
And I mean, working at a restaurant was great for that too. It was so great for that.
You're in New York
Yes.
still. For how long did you stay in New York?
I
And
really was New York based for a very long time. I used to do that thing where I would come to LA for pilot season
yeah.
Mhm.
and sleep on friends' couches. Then I was the person on the couch, audition and hang out and try to get work and then go back to New York. And then I would have friends or I had a boyfriend for a while where like he had a place in New York and I had a place here. And so we were back and forth. So I was bi-coastal for a long time. And then I kind of made a decision to move back to New York to do theater. I was doing my first play on Broadway,
Yeah,
Race,
David
with David
Mamet.
Oh,
Mamet,
yeah,
which
David
was an
Mamet's
incredible
Race, yeah.
experience to originate a role in a David Mamet play.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to be back in New York and living in New York. And that was when I read the script for Scandal.
Oh, get
Oh,
out
really?
of here!
While
And they're
you
like,
were
come back to
doing the
LA.
play?
Mhm.
Isn't life funny like that?
So wild.
It's so weird.
wow.
It's,
Yeah.
Wow.
Going back to your roots
Yeah.
in theater.
Yes.
How did that feel? Like, was it just
It was the
exhilarating?
dream. Growing up in New York, I was so lucky, because you talked about this earlier. Growing up in New York, theater was how we celebrated a lot of times. Like I remember when I graduated from the 6th grade, my gift was I went to go see Into the Woods with my dad.
Oh my God, that's one
Right?
of my
Like,
all-time favorite
wow.
shows.
That was how we celebrated birthdays or
Yeah.
graduations or anniversaries. Like often was going to the theater and or sometimes, because my mom was a professor, we would have those coupons that they had often in like academic institutions where you could get tickets for 50% off. Or my mom and I would, if we had like a hair appointment downtown, we would just go to the TKTS line in Times Square and wait in line and see what's available and watch. I remember seeing translations that way. We had no idea what that play was about. And that's one of my favorite plays to this
And it just
day.
blew you away.
It
when you
blew
went-
me
yeah.
away, but neither of us had any idea what it was about. Getting the opportunity to be on Broadway and work with a playwright who was, who is so extraordinary and has such an immense body of work, and that he directed it, and working with actors that I love. I had worked with David Alan Grier before. It was so special. It was honestly a dream come true.
Yeah. And you had done a lot of film and TV work
Yeah.
leading up to that.
I had,
mean,
yeah.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
Obviously. So was there a transition that you like was it difficult to kind of re-enter that world on the stage at all? Or was it more like
Such
a
good
homecoming?
question. I think in my heart it was more of a homecoming, but I do think there was a challenge because I don't think I had been asked to do that level of rigorous scene study in a long time. And I love scene study work. I love that deep analytical breaking down the text work. My muscles weren't as strong because I hadn't
Yeah.
needed to do
Yeah.
it to
And it
that
is a
level in a
muscle.
long
Yeah.
time. And it's a very different practice when you have to break down like a scene as opposed to an entire play.
Yeah.
Right.
And I thought that I was working the muscles, but it's sort of like when I think about now, when you see like these big brawn men go into a Pilates class, where they're like, I'm so strong, I can do anything. And then they get on a Pilates machine and they're like, I don't know if I have that muscle. So I think it was a little bit like going back to the theater. I was like, oh, I need to hunker down.
Yeah.
But it was great. And it was what I needed also. I think I was at a point in my career where I needed to shake it up and be a little bit scared and get challenged.
Yeah. And I mean, before that, you had done Ray,
Last King of Scotland.
Last King of Scotland.
Can I
yeah.
just say, you and your accents?
Oh,
I mean, you embody you are really
you.
truly are a
I
chameleon.
love accent
You
work.
really
I mean,
are.
it's
I
so
love
good.
accents.
You can just jump from one to another, and they're totally different, women on the
Yeah.
spectrum. Like, it's just
Oh,
fantastic
thank
work.
you. It's funny because my husband is Nigerian, and he, when he saw Last King of Scotland, first he thought that I was an African actress, which I
No
was
way,
like,
that's
I mean, he's
amazing.
Nigerian
What a compliment.
American, but yes. And then he was like, and the accent is good, but there is something that's a little bit off. And then he researched Ugandan accents as opposed to Nigerian accents, and he was like, "Oh wow, that's
Oh,
exactly
actually, you
it."
nailed it.
Yeah, yeah. This is way before we knew each
That's
other.
amazing.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
You had at that point kind of I mean, you'd played several real people.
Yes, I have a thing in.
Yeah.
It's something I return
It's a
to
recurring
again and
theme.
again in my life.
Are you attracted to that? And obviously, there's a significant amount of preparation with that because you're learning about a real person.
Yeah.
You did this with Anita too.
Yes.
Can you talk about your approach a little bit to playing real people?
It's similar to why I love accent work. I think I love accent work because I studied a lot of singing and voice. And so accent work for me is an easy way to find the voice of the character, to find the rhythm of the character and like the heartbeat of the character. When you know how a person talks, it just tells you so much about who they are. And I think for me growing up, I belonged to a lot of different kinds of communities as a girl who like grew up in the Bronx but went to school on the Upper East Side. And so I was very aware from an early age that how I present, how I talk says a lot about who I am and what community I'm in at any moment. So I love accent work and I love playing real people because in a similar way, it's just a way in. It's like an immediate way in. One of the best compliments I've ever received as an actor was we were shooting the final scene of Confirmation when I'm just walking across the quad holding my things, and Anita Hill was on set that day, and she was watching me, and I came back to Video Village and she said, "I didn't know I had a walk."
Oh, no way.
She was like, "I didn't know I had, but you're doing my walk. But I didn't even know I had a walk." And I was like, shit, it just made me so
That's
happy.
so cool.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was just a way in. I had watched so much footage of her about
Yeah.
how she moves and how she holds herself. And so it was really important to me to get that right. And it's also just a way in. Like actually how she walks says a lot about her heart and her mind and the way that she guards herself and how she sees herself in the world. So that's one of my favorite compliments I've ever
That's
gotten
huge.
as an
Story.
actor, right? For somebody to see, because we always say like
Yeah.
part of what we're doing as actors is allowing people a window into the world where they either see who they want to be or who they don't want to be, where they learn something about themselves, but to teach the person
That's
something
insane.
about themselves
Yeah.
was
Mind
so
I mean, it's
cool.
just holding up a
Yeah.
mirror
God,
to
but
them. That's
Well
crazy.
done. Like, that is doing the work.
Yeah.
The specificity.
Yes.
The respect. It's
Yeah.
like, that's incredible.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
love that you extrapolated so much out of just a walk. Like
Yeah.
how you pulled so much from that. And that's one thing, with playing Anita Hill, there was obviously she was a very public figure because of what happened, but there was a limited view of her,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you, as an actor, have to instill so much more to her.
Dimensionality. Yeah.
Dimensionality, layers, like all of
Mhm,
those things. So I don't know that I have a question here, but you did that really well.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. So this goes back to the Michael Howard studio days
Mhm.
because one of the things I got exposed to there was Alexander technique. And that's all about posture and alignment and how we move through the world, what it says about, or not even just because that feels more presentational, but how who we are impacts how we move through the world. So like a really easy example is like if I'm playing a character who's very in touch with her sexuality, like I may like lead with my hips, right? Like I'm going to sit because I'm very comfortable exposing my hips to you. And if I'm somebody who's like an overthinker, I may have all of my conversations like this because I'm leading with my head, right? Like it's just, it's kind of centering what the value system of the character is in the body to help you differentiate them from me.
Cool.
I feel like I'm in a
Sorry, I had to write that down.
I know. I'm like,
it's really great.
I know, okay, good. Thank you.
Can I tell you, I also do a lot of work connecting that to the things I learned in yoga practice because not to sound too woo-woo, but I will.
Too late.
Yeah. Anyway, that's when you know somebody's going to go really woo-woo. So in yoga, there are the chakras, which are your energy centers. And those are also tied to these same ideas. Like I don't know that there's anybody who specifically has, I would love to write a paper on this, like tying Alexander technique to the chakra work. But your energy center, so like your red, your bottom chakra, your root chakra is red. And that is sort of the sexual energy chakra. So it's a similar idea where you move through your energy centers. And so like your heart center is here and it's green. And it's, if you're playing a character who's in love, for example, you might be like this because your heart center is open and it's green and you're innocent. And then if you've been heartbroken, you may walk through the world more like this, right? So it's understanding kind of where emotion and energy lives in the body so that you can be thinking about that too.
I love that. Just those tiny little movements were so distinctive.
Right?
But
there's so much
exercise.
physicality to it. Does it make you more comfortable in your own skin too? Speaking of somebody who's constantly not comfortable in their own skin.
I think whenever I have specificity, whenever I have tools that help me towards specificity, it helps me to be less self-conscious. Because I'm doing, you know that thing people always say, like acting is doing? I'm doing something. I don't want to be sitting in a scene thinking like, I'm heartbroken, remember I'm heartbroken, right? Like that takes me out of the scene. But if I say like, my character sits like this, even just doing that, like if you do that, you feel heartbroken.
Yeah.
Like you start
just
to
the simple movement of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So it helps to just lead me in a less self-conscious way to the work.
It's amazing that something so simple can be so impactful.
Oh, it's like it's like costumes.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
You know, people will tell you on Scandal, we would rehearse in the morning. And I would come in my sweats and my Uggs, as all actors do for rehearsal in the morning. But we couldn't start rehearsal till I had my shoes. And it's not because I was like trying to be a diva. I couldn't be Olivia Pope in the office in the White House without the shoes. Nor also it was a disservice to the crew. Because if I walk down this hallway in sneakers, it's going to be such different timing for Steadicam and different height than if I'm walking in heels. I needed that to be her.
Yeah.
So I could be in a hoodie and sweats, but if I had to be in the posture,
in particular.
I needed to have the posture of her.
Right.
Even to know in a scene what you were saying about height, like if I wasn't in my heels, Tony Goldwyn was so much taller than me. If I'm in my heels, we're a little more equal.
Yeah.
And that's an important dynamic in a rehearsal when you're figuring out how to deal with each other.
I gotta say, I think it's only because of the lack of work since post-COVID, the lack of work, but now when there's rehearsal, it's like, I'm going to show up ready to rock and roll.
Go.
This rehearsal is, there's no camera, but I'm going to fucking go for it. And see what works, because that's your time to play, but also coming in full costume.
Yeah.
It really is a difference,
It does make a huge difference.
And it's an extra moment to try things out and play and like really go for it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I would imagine also if you were not in your costume and then you could be thrown too by something that is, you know, like an extra, like there's an extra layer here or something like simple things like that you
like
don't want to get
in
the way.
Scene. You're like, well, this suit jacket actually doesn't fit under this coat.
Right.
Like it's a whole thing.
Prime Video presents Bait, starring Emmy Award winner Riz Ahmed. The limited series follows Shah Latif, a struggling actor. His last chance to hit it big comes in the form of an audition of a lifetime. We follow him over the course of 4 wild days as his life spirals out of control and his family ex-lover, and the entire world weigh in on whether he is the right man for the job. Critics are calling it a superb send-up of public personas and personal pressure with the magnetic Riz Ahmed. And the LA Times raves, it's marvelous, a beautifully realized work of art. Bait is Emmy eligible and available at consideramazon.com.
While we're on the topic,
Yes.
both of us desperately want to talk about Scandal.
Please do.
Cannot
It's
wait.
one of the
One of the
greatest things
best
that ever
ones.
happened
and it was
to
also
me.
a really solid pilot. I remember watching it, as it aired, and I was like, this is so good. And I was like, she's so good.
Oh,
I mean, just like the
thank you.
connections you had, like with your actors, and after working with you, like I was like, it really shows on screen how gracious you are with your presence and how much you give. Like, even when the camera's not on her, and I've worked with a handful of actors who do this, it's like, I'm going to give you everything. I'm engaged, like really engaged. And it's such a beautiful gift to have from a scene partner and an
thank
actor.
you.
And
I'm
it
really
shines on
believing you.
screen.
I'm really, no,
I know,
feel
thanks for
like-
the eye contact, honey. I love you.
I
Yeah.
love that. She was giving.
She was giving
You know what I mean?
everything
Yes.
to me.
It's really fantastic.
It makes such a difference.
It does.
The scenes, I think one of the reasons why I started directing was because I started to realize how much I love pulling performance out of my fellow scene partners.
Oh, yeah.
And how much joy I get watching an actor do work that they are proud of. Like, I love watching an actor surprise themselves with how good they are in a scene. And whatever I can do to help somebody get there, I want to do. Because then the whole project rises and
Yeah.
elevates.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Rising
Scandal
Sun.
was like, it was like being back in Tada. It was like being back in a children's theater company. Most of us came from the theater. We wanted to rehearse voluntarily on the weekends. We were obsessed with each other. We were committed to each other. We were so generous. And it went all the way till the end. That's how we were. We never got
dream.
It really
jaded.
shows.
We
You guys are tight.
Yeah,
You can
it
tell.
really does show.
still
helps
have
the
our
connection.
text thread. We
Aw.
still
Oh, that's
say happy
so
birthday and
good.
congratulations on whatever
Yeah.
jobs that
Yeah.
he's doing. Yeah.
Scandal ran for 7 seasons,
Mhm.
100 and some odd. I don't even know how many.
So many episodes. Yeah.
How did you keep Olivia Pope kind of fresh and also evolve her over time, over the course of the show?
So, I mean, a lot of that was in the writing
Mhm.
because the writers did a really great job of maintaining the consistency of her identity, but continuing to push her into new layers of who she was and new circumstances of self-discovery. And so a lot of that was in the writing. I love our Scandal writers. So grateful to them. And one of them, Ramla Mohammed. So Ramla, when I met Ramla, she was a research assistant, season 1 of Scandal. She kind of went up through the ranks throughout the life of the show. When the show was ending, I said to her, Ramla, I'm going to go do this thing with Reese Witherspoon called Little Fires Everywhere. And I just wanted to let you know. And she was like, oh, congratulations. And I was like, no, Ramla, I want you to come be in the writer's
Oh,
room.
wow.
And she was like, oh, okay. And she did. And she killed it. She was
Oh, that's
incredible.
great.
And at the end of that journey, we were like, she's ready for her own show. And so Reasonable Doubt is her show.
No way.
So we helped Ramla kind of develop that. And she is now off in Atlanta show running Reasonable
That
Doubt,
is
which is in its
incredible.
4th season.
That is
so
incredible.
that's something I'm proud of, that relationship, and proud of her. And also she pushed me to direct that pilot for Reasonable Doubt because she was,
Oh,
I
really?
started directing at Scandal and she was like, I really want you to direct this pilot. So it's been a nice partnership, encouraging each other through the years.
That's really nice.
But in terms of Olivia, one of the sort of accidental challenges that wound up really helping me was that I got knocked up while I was doing the show. I got pregnant and I got married and then I got pregnant. And I asked Shonda if Olivia Pope could be pregnant. And she said no. Because I didn't understand it at the time. I just was like, this is so cruel. I'm going to get like big and fat and nobody's going to know why.
I have to carry a lot of grocery bags in front of me.
I did like
Yeah.
giant coats and the
Yeah.
Prada
I remember
bags
you
just
were-
got bigger and
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
It was like
You were like
Prada
holding
luggage.
folders in front of you.
Yes,
Yeah, I remember
totally.
all that actually.
I was carrying Prada luggage into the office every day. But I felt terrified because, as you know, as we've talked about, a big way into character for me is body.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an Olivia Pope walk. And I was like, I'm going to be waddling down the
Things
hallway,
are
not
gonna
doing like the
change.
Olivia Pope strut. Like
Huh.
I was terrified that I couldn't authentically and honestly deliver a performance as Olivia Pope when Kerry was going through an experience that was so different from what the character's physical reality was.
Which season was this?
I think 3.
Oh, that's
3
early
and then
on.
again in
Yeah.
6, I think. And so it was the first time I worked with a coach for my audition. Again, one of my best friends from college. Her name is Colleen Basis. She's an acting coach here in LA, but she works virtually as well. And she coached me for my audition. And then during the life of the show, when I was going through that process, I was like, I need a coach. I need extra support because I don't know how to do this. I'm in a situation where I'm going to have to access Olivia Pope in ways with a toolbox that I haven't built yet. Because I'm not going to have my usual strut and my usual posture. And I did wear heels all 9 months. But
Wow.
I was like, I'm going to need some extra tools to be able to figure out how to be her in this body that is not hers. And so I started working with this new coach. Her name is Kim Gillingham. She's incredible. I still work with her to this day on different projects. I really believe in coaches. I think having a coach is so helpful. And it helps me to dive deeper. It helps me to do more courageous work. It helps me to be accountable. Sometimes it just helps me carve out the space. It's like sometimes I'm forced to do the homework because I have an appointment with Kim, even though I'm a producer and a mom and all the other things. It's like, nope, these are my 2 hours with Kim. I got to do my scene study. I got to be prepared. I got to, that work really pushed me to keep evolving her and to figure out new ways to be her. And I actually realized, like, even though I couldn't share the same body with her, I could figure out other ways that we were aligned. And really beautifully, at that part of the arc of the show, Olivia Pope had a lot of secrets that she was trying to keep. And so
Perfect.
this secret that
Yeah.
I had, that I was navigating, I could extrapolate and sort of lend into her experience. So I started learning how to do dream work at that time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which was
really?
really incredible, incorporating dream work into scene study. And I started to build out my toolbox again in a way that I hadn't in a long time. And that really helped me continue to go deeper with her, evolve her, stay true to her. I will tell you one other fun thing about Scandal. One day I was lying in bed in Olivia Pope's apartment, and it was like, wasn't an intimate scene, but it was like one of those sort of morning after, like staring at each other moments with Tony Goldwyn. And he said something to me that was really uniquely something that I had heard before and that I had never heard anybody else say. And I was like, where did you hear that term? And he was like, from my therapist. And I was like, what's your therapist's name?
No way.
We had the same
No
therapist.
way. Oh, that's crazy.
It was wild. Because suddenly we had this like, oh, now we have a total unspoken language.
You really
now.
do.
No, but I love
now-
that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like going to
Incredible.
couples therapy.
Yes.
You have the
But
same therapist.
but
I know.
and not
But then
knowing.
still-
By the way, if Olivia and Fitz went to couples therapy, that show would have ended in like season 2. So good thing they didn't have couples therapy. Yeah.
You mentioned that the show came to you while you were doing Race.
Yeah.
It was a script that was sent to you. Shonda sent you the script?
Yeah, so this script, well, Shonda didn't send me the script. This script was circulating. This was the hottest
Script, yeah.
most on-demand
Yeah.
script
Yeah.
that season, that year, whatever. And it was, there was like rumors of it. Like apparently there was a script that Shonda Rhimes is doing about a DC
the
fixer.
lore of
Yeah.
the script.
And we had to get our hands on it. And at the first, I was told I was too young for it. And, which I would die to hear that now about it. But at the time, because I think she was written to be in her 40s and I was in my 30s. When I read that pilot, I knew I had never seen anything like it. And it had been, as has been talked about, a great deal in the press. It had been almost 40 years since a Black woman had been the lead of a network drama.
Yeah.
So, and I was in my 30s, so I hadn't seen it in my lifetime. In my lifetime, I had not seen it. Everybody wanted this role. And God bless Shonda, she let everybody read for it. I went in and met with her first because I was at a point in my career where you could do that, where you could like take a meeting.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, why are we doing this? I just want to let me read. But I went in and I met with her. And I remember being really nervous to meet with her because she's such an icon. And when I got off the elevator, I saw this huge sign that said Shondaland. And I was like, this is not going to go well. Like, I don't know
It's just
that
too
I
big.
was like, I don't
Too
know that I
much.
want to like move to somebody's land
Yeah.
and like give up my citizenship to be part of your world. So I was a little like freaked out and guarded. And then she walked in the room, and I think within 3 minutes of the meeting, I was like, I'm so in. I
Yeah.
love this woman. I love her energy. I love this project. Again, inspired by a real person, Judy
Yeah.
Smith.
Oh, wow.
And I felt like it was mine. Unfortunately, there were like 10 other actresses who felt that way.
Wow.
So then I auditioned a bunch and screen tested and the whole thing. And I remember exactly where I was sitting at a restaurant in Manhattan Beach when I got the phone call that it was
Oh,
mine.
God, I love
wow.
those phone
Did
calls.
you
Yeah.
what was that feeling like?
It's happened a handful of times in my career where I've wanted something so badly. And often when that happens, it's because I feel like it already lives inside me. Like when I'm reading it, I'm like, I already know how to say this. Like I already know what to do. And then you do the work and it's a lot harder. But sometimes it goes my way and sometimes it doesn't. There have been a couple times when that's happened, when I've been really heartbroken. And so this one, it's such a vulnerable feeling as an artist to want something and to go for it and to put your heart on the line. And we are the instrument. It's not like a pianist or a violinist or a painter where like you can hang this thing on the wall and go like, people will like it or they don't. Like you'll like me
It's
or
hard
you
to
won't, right? Like
separate.
it is very difficult to not take it personally.
Mhm.
And so I was really trying to put all of my yoga practice and my like healthy detachment
zen.
in. I was really trying to be like, whatever. I do believe that God always has 3 answers for you. It's either yes, but not yet, or no, because I have something better in store for you.
That's great.
And that has been true in my career. And so it's been easier as I've seen the heartbreak turn into opportunity time and time again. It's easier to believe, but I wanted this so badly. So when I got that call, I just remember being so excited. And I immediately felt the pressure because I
Oh.
also knew
There was a very short period where you were elated.
I knew
You went
I
right
was
to
elated, but I also was like, I know that a lot is riding on this. That if we don't succeed, it could be another 40 years before a Black
Yeah, I
woman
was just gonna
is
say,
allowed to be the lead on a network
you had the
drama.
pressure of a big network drama.
Mhm.
And then on top of that,
The
the pressure
historic
of
nature
the
of it.
historic nature of it. I
Mhm.
mean, that's a lot of
But
weight.
you knocked it out of the
You
park.
really
Oh,
did.
I
You
mean,
sure
by
really
God's
did.
grace. By
Yes.
God's grace.
Did you get Olivia Pope from the jump? Like, did you feel like it's handled? I got this. To coin a phrase.
I did feel like I was uniquely armed to play her because at the time, I actually truly was in the Obama administration. Like when I read that script, I was serving the White House on the President's Committee for the Arts and
I
Humanities.
forgot about that.
And
That's
I
right.
had spent a lot of time traveling to 16 states as a surrogate for the Obamas. The first time I actually met Tony Goldwyn, it was when we were both doing work for an organization called the Creative Coalition, where we were fighting for First Amendment rights and arts funding. So we were like walking through the halls of Congress together. That's how I met Tony Goldwyn.
No
so
way.
I felt uniquely ready to step into that role. I felt like there was a lot about her that I understood in the world of politics. There was a lot I understood about her. I think I'm naturally a bit of a fixer and a problem solver. I like to solve problems.
So there's a lot of
there was
you
a lot
in
of
her.
alignment.
Yeah.
And also I felt very early on I think she also felt a pressure around the presentation of self and often being the only Black woman in the room and the only
It carried through to the
yes.
narrative.
Yeah.
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 What
Wow.
role did you find yourself most empowered? I mean, I
Mm.
don't think that it's well, I'm sorry. I just would like to compliment you first because I rewatched Django and I was like,
Mm.
it is so hard to watch, but it's such an important story. And I was just enthralled by your performance because like witnessing the pain of what that woman was going through is it's important. But then, oh God, your performance was just so.
You know what was amazing was we shot Django in between shooting the first and second seasons of Scandal.
Really?
Mhm.
What is whiplash?
Yeah, but also I think Olivia Pope bookending that film allowed me to go to the places where I went because I knew that Olivia Pope was like Broomhilda von Schaff's prayers answered. Like, she dreamt of a woman who could stand in the White House and be the most powerful person in the room.
Oh, I just got chills. That's a
And
beautiful way to look at it.
so
Yeah.
I think having the agency to play somebody who was so powerful allowed me the courage to play somebody who was so powerless. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
beautiful.
a similar thing that drew me to American Son when we finished
Oh, yeah.
Scandal, because again, I was when I read that script, which was my second time on Broadway, I was moved by how powerless this woman was. And I felt like it was time for me, after spending all these seasons playing the most powerful person in the room all the time, unless I was with Fitz, to play somebody who was so vulnerable up against these systems and trying desperately to be heard and to save her family.
Yeah. Wow.
It's beautiful.
I still want to talk about Scandal.
Okay, great.
Okay, good. You can.
We have a lot to go.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm like, I'm not.
I know, but also
I'm not great at segues.
Okay, no, I'll do the
apparently.
segues. But okay, so then you started your production company,
Yes.
and now you're just telling stories of like really, and I hate when people judge like female characters, but it's like, they're complicated women, but also with different layers and complex, and that's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love that you're kind of empowering all these female-led shows, which I'm
So
like
it's-
all about.
We keep laughing because this most recent show, Imperfect
I
Women,
I watched
yes.
it in like one night.
So proud. Oh, thank you for
I loved it
watching.
so much. I was like, who did it?
So good.
But it was so well written. I was like,
know,
who?
it's so
who?
crazy
Oh.
and messy. And I kept
So
saying
messy.
So these girls are so messy.
I know, but I love it.
love to play
I
messy.
love it.
I love to play messy because you know what? Imperfect, messy equals human.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
Like
sure.
that's what
Of course.
Imperfect Women is really just human beings.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we get pressured and have been pressured through the years to maintain this ideal of perfection and to perform,
How
pretend.
boring is that?
Nobody wants to watch
No,
that
it's
show.
boring.
No.
And that's not real.
Yeah.
People make mistakes, awful mistakes. I don't wish these particular friendships on anybody in this room. I pray that you have healthy friendships with wonderful boundaries and appropriate behavior and no murder. But it's so real that people make mistakes, and that it's imperfect women. It's also imperfect marriages and imperfect friendships and imperfect families. That's what the show is really about.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
So
Yeah,
it was
it was
so
really
fun
good.
to
I was like,
make.
there's only 9 episodes. I was like, that's
Yeah.
it?
I know.
Come on.
That ending was
So crazy, right?
Spoiler alert. No, I'm just joking. Oh.
Jamie brought up a really great point about your production company. Was Confirmation the first time that you'd EP'd
Yes.
on something?
Yeah. My first time as a producer was on Confirmation. And then I became a producer on Scandal actually after that. But I'll never forget sitting at the premiere of Confirmation, big HBO, fancy pants premiere. And I named my production company Simpson Street after the street in the Bronx that my mother grew up on, because for me, growing up, we always heard stories about the things that happened on Simpson Street, on the roof on Simpson Street, on the stoop on Simpson Street. So I feel like it's my family's kind of once upon a time in this country. And so my mom and two of her sisters, I flew them out for the premiere, and they were sitting in the audience. And when the words Simpson Street flashed on the screen,
my
all three of them were like, and it just was so
that's so
awesome.
Wait, did they have any idea?
They had no idea.
idea.
They had
I
no
love
clue.
this.
Oh, what a great surprise.
Isn't that so special?
That's
And for
so
that film,
sweet.
that's so meaningful and important
Yeah.
for Black women. And just
Yeah.
was the three of them were really, they were delighted. So that was really fun. But yeah, that was when I first started producing. And that happened because I had watched the Anita Hill documentary. An agent had sent it to me, my incredible agent, Rick Kurtzman. And he was like, there might be a movie here, because the documentary is fantastic, but there are all these moments where the doors close and you're like, what's happening on the other
That's
side
what
of
I'm
the
saying,
door?
the limited access you had
Yes.
to her.
Yes.
And
so
so
how
much
do we
was
build that out?
revealed.
I found out that there were these two other incredible artists, Michael London, who's an amazing producer, and Susanna Grant, who's an incredible producer and writer. They also felt like there was a movie there. And rather than get in a bidding war and competition with them, I basically reached out and said, do you guys want to do this together? Because I can be who else is going to be your Anita? So I can be your Anita, and
I've got this planned out.
I can be your Anita, and you can teach me everything you know about producing.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
And so we really just hunkered down and made it together. And I learned so much, and I found how much I really love producing.
Problem
Yeah.
solving.
Yes.
Problem
Yeah.
And
solving.
also I really love being part of a team, and you sort of spoke to this, but creating an environment where people feel inspired to do good work and feel like they can take creative risks and reach for excellence, and they're going to be met with excellence, right? That like the costume people and the production designers and the writers and the actors, that everybody is reaching for excellence together so that you can be proud of what you make and proud of how you make it. Like that's what gives me a lot of joy
And that
as a
comes
producer.
from that's the leaders having respect, curiosity,
Mm-hmm,
you know, like encouragement, like it's just, and having faith in them and letting them do their job. Like
Yes.
these are all things that you provide.
Well,
It's
and
lovely.
you've talked about this before, but being number one and being an EP really sets a tone for better or for worse. So you've taken an approach where your role as number one and as an EP is a generous, open, collaborative experience, and that.
I try on most days. Yeah.
Well, word on the street is you're
You
doing
are.
it very
Yeah.
well.
That's good. I've
Um,
paid those people well.
but it pays forward.
Yeah.
Because I think people on those sets take that with them, and then they project that onto the next job they have.
Oh, I love
So
that.
there's a lot that comes from that. I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really important, for you to take the responsibility of that so deeply and profoundly.
Mhm. Well, can I tell you though, and I think this is important to know, there are some traditions and kind of cultural practices that make it difficult. There are like norms in the business that actually encourage bad behavior. So for an example is, and this is one that I always have to tell people the moment that I arrive on a new set and I'm working with a new AD team, that the tradition of calling actors to set is that you call from bottom up. So you go to number 20 first and you tell them they're ready on set, and then you work your way up to number one. But number one, because I guess the idea is number one on the call sheet shouldn't be waiting for other actors. So number one is the last person told to come to set. So what happens is if you have an actor who's in 5 or 6 who like doesn't feel well and is stuck in the bathroom or on a phone call that they can't wrap up, number one doesn't get to set until like 10 minutes after the crew is ready. And everybody thinks number one is behaving badly, and it has nothing to do. Nobody knocked on number one's door to say set is ready.
It's just structural.
Yes, it's structural. So I always say when I immediately come to a new set, tell everybody at the same time. Because also I like to have time on set. Like I want to know where my cup is going to be. I want to, when I'm in the scene, like there are certain props I haven't seen yet. Oh, I don't like that pen. Can we do it? No, it has to be a different pen because she doesn't, I have on all silver jewelry. Can we not have a gold pen? I mean, like little things like that, right? Where if I'm not on set on time, it slows down the whole day. So I have to say to ADs, and it's very counterintuitive because they get taught, number one should not be waiting. I'm like, I don't mind waiting. Waiting gives me a chance to rehearse. Waiting gives me a chance to hang out with my crew. Waiting gets me a chance to ask Bobby, who's the camera operator, how his trip to the zoo was with his kids over the weekend, right? Like waiting allows me to, if it's a really emotional scene, like put in my earbuds and really drop into the moment and not have this feel like a set, but feel like my real living room. Like it's okay for me to wait on set, but that's very
This is
counterintuitive
huge. Yeah.
and it's not how things are done. Another example is like sitting shotgun in the van. That like this is a weird cultural thing where like number one is supposed to sit shotgun in the van and everybody else is supposed to sit in the back of the van. You're supposed to save the seat in the front for number one.
Really?
And if number one is not in the
no.
scene, then number two, right? And maybe some of these things are dying, but that's what it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was always like, I want to be where the crew is. Whoever gets here first can, like, I don't want to be like the crew's in back of me and I get to be in the front. No.
Oh no, that is true. I mean, out
In
of
and
courtey,
among
we just
your
fill the
people.
back up first. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You know, so it's easier for people to get in. Yeah.
But I was like, if I'm here first, I'm going to get in the back.
Yeah.
Like, get in the back. Don't
Yeah.
like sit in the, it's so, yes.
Oh, and I like how you've come in and you're willing to break those norms.
But you have to talk about it because they're really ingrained in
Yeah.
people.
Going through the list of all of your co-stars and all of the productions you've done.
I've been so lucky with
Dude,
my co-stars.
I mean, look at it.
By the
goes
way,
on forever.
we
I'm
have an
really old.
amazing
No, it's
really old,
amazing. No,
Jamie.
and you've done amazing work. That's what it is.
we have an amazing producer
Yeah.
who does all this research,
Sarah.
and
Thanks,
she was
Sarah.
like, Carrie's this is endless.
I know, it really is.
She was like, there's a lot.
There's a hairstylist who's an epic diva, like icon hairstylist. Her name is Kim Kimball. She's done a lot of film and television. She's done a lot of like iconic things. And she calls me Kerry, keep a job, Washington.
I know Kerry for real. It's
she's
true.
Like, honestly, if there's a strike, Kerry's going to write a memoir. She keeps a job. She will be out there doing press for a memoir. If there's a pandemic, Kerry starts a podcast. Like
No, it's
Kerry will
amazing.
have you at her house doing her hair, no
Working.
matter what is happening in the world.
That's so
That
good.
is so
I know.
funny.
I'm turning around. I'm like, there's another billboard. Kerry Washington. I'm gonna watch it, obviously, but I'm like, insane.
It's also part of why I really wanted to produce, because I feel like sometimes as an actor, you feel like you're just sitting at home waiting to be invited to the party. And I say this all the time, like I just want to throw the party, because then it's the kind of party I want to be at. And I'm not waiting around to be on somebody else's guest list. Like, come be at my party. We throw fun parties at Simpson Street.
Yeah. And you're not having to change the norms. You can create the norms.
Yeah.
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 Which is really
Yeah.
important. So let's talk about that briefly, about Simpson Street and Imperfect Women.
Yes.
Because it found its way to Simpson Street. Did you
Yes.
go after the project?
Yeah,
like,
how does that
how
work?
did that
I
happen?
got so lucky. So Lizzie Moss bought this novel at an airport on the way on a
what?
trip, and she read Imperfect Women and fell in love with it. And she got the rights before she even had a production company. She called the woman who would become her production company partner eventually, Lindsay, and said, like, should I option this? And she was like, yes. And so then it took them, I want to say 8 years, somewhere like 6 to 8, no, it's 2019. So
my
6
God,
or 7
so
years
long
to do,
ago.
That
because
is a
there was a
long
strike
time.
and
Yeah,
there's,
sure.
you know,
Right.
pandemics and
Never heard of it.
but yes, but so she found a showrunner, Annie Weissman, who's phenomenal, and they built out kind of how they were going to transform the book, because it takes place in the UK, how they were going to make it an American show and how they kind of wanted to break it out for episodic, and a little bit about the characters in case you hadn't read the book. They sent me this deck and I got a call saying, like, Lizzie Moss thinks she has something that you might be interested in and she'd love to work with you. And I was like, Lizzie Moss is a beast.
I know she's
Yeah.
She's an
amazing.
incredible actor.
Yeah.
I'm such a huge fan. I think
Same.
she's endlessly talented.
We got to get her here.
Yes, she's incredible. And I would love to work with her. And then I was like, oh, I just hope the material is as good as she is.
Mhm.
And then it was.
Yeah.
It was. So I got really, really lucky. And then I said to her, you know, she was very gracious, because she said, I really would love you involved as an actor, but also I know you are a real in the trenches producer. And so can we do this together? Like, can our companies really
That's
do this together? And
awesome.
so that was great. So then we were developing scripts together, hiring writers, like filling our writer's room, hiring heads of departments, casting, all of it, all the way through production.
That's so cool.
And marketing and post and
Mhm.
music. And we are both very hands-on
You're so
producers.
deeply involved. This is not a vanity title at all for you
No,
in terms of
it's
you're
not.
so entrenched.
And for me, I mean, I watch the edits. I watch the cuts. I'll
Yeah.
like, I will often say to an editor, like, there's a better take. And they'll say, like, are you sure? And I'm like, I was in the room.
Yeah.
Like, I watched it happen.
I was
I
there.
know there was,
Yeah.
like, either, by the way, either like it was pouring through my body. I know, like,
Yeah,
it was my,
yeah.
I know I have a better take. Or like, I was sitting across from Lizzie. I remember this
Yeah, I
other
was her
version.
superintendent.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did the three of you, or the two of you rather, talk about casting the roles?
Yeah.
Like, how was that?
Oh, I don't know if I want to know this as an actor.
Really?
Well,
like,
I mean,
what are you scared to hear?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. It's the minutia. I want to believe that, like, okay, I think what I'm afraid to hear is the truth, which is you have an idea for the character, you're open to seeing everyone. It kind of goes back to what you think, or whoever sometimes is it the best actor? Is it always the best actor? Maybe not. Is it a business decision of like, oh, maybe, they're really hot right now. It's a business. So like they're a really huge market over here. Like, are all those things true?
Oof.
Don't tell me. I'm just
No,
kidding.
no, it's really good. I was thinking, it's so funny because my usual answer to this question doesn't answer your question. So I want to do both. I want to say, like, the thing that was so extraordinary about casting this show was that every single actor, from Katie Mara through to everybody, was our first choice, was our very first choice.
Wow.
Okay.
That never happens. Scheduling, like, whatever, like, people don't respond to the material. So we got really lucky. I also think the material is really strong. I also think, like, the work that Lizzie has done through the years, that I've done through the years, that Annie's so respected. Like, people just said yes. I mean, I called Leslie Odom Jr. and I actually sent him the meme from The Lion King. Like, I always wanted a brother. Like, please play my brother. And
I would have said yes to that.
Like, okay, good to know. But that doesn't answer your question, which is the tricky question of like, how do these decisions get made? Like, how do those choices get made? I think what I loved about making Imperfect Women was we really were reaching for like, who is the actor that we respect and admire the most, who feels right in this role. I do think it gets complicated. There are all these factors where it does come down to like, who's splashy but I'll tell you, we actually have a project at Simpson Street right now that in a production meeting yesterday, I said to them, take all the splashy names off the list because this show only lives in authenticity.
Yeah.
And so if I can't lose myself in these characters, this show is not going to work. We can pick one role that's like sort of a role that makes sense as stunt casting or more of a name, but everybody else has to feel really authentic.
That's really
and not famous. Like I have to drop into this world.
Yeah.
But every project requires something different. Like casting on the Simpson Street side, casting live in front of a studio audience, which is so many like stars and special guests. You know, that's a very different thing than casting Reasonable Doubt, which is like Reasonable Doubt. We do some stunt casting on that. We like to invite like sexy stars, but also we do a lot of local hires, a lot of local talent, a lot of casting from theater. We watch those auditions like with intensity, where we take a lot of pride in discovering new talent. So it's a hodgepodge.
Yeah. Those are the details I don't want to know. It's like, I'm just here. This is the character that I'm auditioning for.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to invest my time
Keep it in this little box.
Yeah, I'm good. That's all. That's all.
And by the way,
because everything else
that's
is like,
all we
"Ah,
can
it's
do.
too loud." Yeah,
that's all we
exactly.
can do, and trust the magic of it. Like, even for me, it's why I have to have such strong producing partners at the company, is because I am such a hands-on producer and I love to be in the minutia. And I do obviously have that part of my brain that's watching performance because I can remember in the edit. But I will turn to Pilar Savone, who's my partner, my EVP at Simpson Street, who you've met. And I'll say to her, like, I'm just an actor for the next few hours.
Okay,
like,
great.
I got to take off that producer hat.
I was just going to ask you that. Like, how do you do
Focus.
that? Yeah.
There have to be times, or even sometimes it'll be even before we're in production. I'm like, this weekend, I'm in research mode. Like, I can't talk budgets. I can't talk department heads. Like, I'm in right now.
It's good boundaries to keep. You have to compartmentalize
But one
things
thing
that
I
way.
found, though, is that I used to be much more precious about this stuff. I have to carve out the boundaries, but they're not as wide as they used to be. And that changed when I became a mom. Because I used to have to stay in character for hours to do something. And then you become a mom and you're like, no, I have to go feed my child in this 20-minute turnaround. Like, I got to come in and back out. And like, you just figure out, I have different boundaries, different, my capacity to hold on to my artistry and to drop into my artistry has elevated as I became a mom.
Yeah. Well, and it can help you. I mean, I'm not a parent, so this is speaking
You hear me bitch about it
very
all the time,
disconnected
so.
from this.
Yes.
But I would imagine it could also help you maybe loosen up some too, because you're not being so rigid about the time that you're taking within this character,
and also because honestly, there's something that matters so much more.
Yeah.
Like it used to be that like, if I don't get this part, I will die, and now it's like, no, I know what it really means to live, and that's about my family.
Yeah.
It's different.
That's very profound.
So we have a game
called
Typecast.
Okay, speaking of casting.
And yes, exactly. It's a perfect segue. You should have
Perfect
done
I was
it.
like,
segue.
see,
Should've
watch
done
her. She knows what she's
Okay.
doing.
I'm learning every day. I'm learning.
It's a
He's like, back to Scandal.
I know. I know. Jesus Christ.
When this is over, you're not leaving.
I know.
You're not leaving.
Okay, so it's a superlatives game.
Okay, so
what do I do?
We'll ask you questions.
Okay.
Like, just as an example, who's the best cook? And then you will that's the first question.
Yeah, go for it.
Who's the best cook on that list?
And I'm guessing, because I don't know for a lot of these people, but I'm going to say it's definitely not Elizabeth Moss. But it is, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's Tandue Newton.
Okay. Okay, at the rap party, who's the first one on the dance floor?
Jamie Foxx. I don't even
Oh,
see where he is, but I know
yes!
that that's
You know
the
that answer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this may lead into the next answer, which is who's the best singer?
Jamie Foxx. He's going to be the answer for all of them. But I will add Janet Jackson.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Right.
Yes.
You're robbing a bank. Who do you want driving the getaway car?
I just immediately think about his movie. So Ben Affleck.
Yes.
And,
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
who.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Whose closet would you want to raid?
Oh, whose closet? I mean, I feel Janet Jackson, repeat offender, and Kate Mara.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
she's
a-
got a sick
okay.
wardrobe.
She's like fashion.
Style.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's the most poetic?
The most poetic would be Delroy Lindo.
He is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who would you want to swap bodies with for a day?
It would depend on what's on the agenda. Like, what
Oh,
am
that's
I
a-
doing?
that is a really
what am I
great
doing
point.
that day? For like intelligence and curiosity, I'd want to get inside Reese's head.
Mhm.
For like hilarious perspective on life, I'd want to get into Chris Rock's head.
Oh, that's a good one.
And for like just the kindest human ever to be able to like have a heart that she has, it would be Bellamy Young, our Melly from
Aw,
Scandal.
I love her.
That's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Great answers.
Carrie
That was so
Washington, this
fun.
was so fun.
And
Thank
that's
you
a
for
wrap
doing.
on
That's a
Carrie-
wrap on
Thank
Kerry
you.
Washington.
Thank
So
you,
grateful you
guys.
No,
came
this was so
by.
This
great.
was
Thank
such a
you
treat.
so much for doing
This
this.
is such a
Oh
that
my
happened
God.
in my life.
Yes.
I'm actually an actor.
This episode of I Am an Actor is presented by Amazon Studios.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of I'm an Actor, a SAG-AFTRA podcast. Hosted by John Brockett and Jamie Chung. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and rate I Am an Actor 5 stars. This episode was executive produced by Sickbird Productions, Jade Watson, Deanna DaCosta, and me, John Brockett. Produced by Sarah Stecker, talent producer Sarah Cowperthwaite, and head of PR and marketing and producer Nick Vivas. We'll see you next week.